Yo, what's up? So this video is just gonna be me rambling on the game just a bit and some background gameplay that you can watch so I can retain your attention. I haven't been uploading any videos for the past 2 days because I've just not been having fun with the game. That's just it. It's as simple as that. Because there's this video that I posted several months ago, 5 months I think, and that video entails about Gaius being released too soon into the game. Gaius was released 3 months into the global launch, and everyone knows at that point, like, his kit is just way too loaded to be introduced into the game. Like, let me just remind you, right? Gaius is still, he was released 3 months into the game, and his kit is still beyond loaded. It's way too many things into one unit. Let me just reiterate what he does. His S1 or normal mode, he does 3 things on his S1. He has sear, 100% sear, 100% chance to stun, 100% chance to extends debuffs. That's not only power creeping chance because stuns on S1, the highest we have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Jin Yao at 75 or 85% chance. Gaius does that with 100% chance, and he does a sear debuff and also debuff extension. He can even extend stuns on his S1 alone, all with 100% chance. And then his S2 on normal mode, he has a 100% chance to strip, 100% chance to land sear buff, and 100% chance to inflict buff blocker. And it's smart AI. If there's less enemy, it goes all into that one enemy. His passive on normal mode gives 100% accuracy. When he turns into normal mode, he gives your entire team a shield. Like, he's the only unit in the game that gains additional turn and extends his buffs. No other unit that gains additional turn extends their buff. And Esidora doesn't, Luis doesn't, Sienna doesn't, any unit that gains additional turn doesn't extend their buffs. Gaius does that. And I don't even need to say what his God King mode does. He just does so much. His S1 is AoE. He's one of the best AoE nuker, one of the best single target nuker. He does HP scaling damage. He has 100% crit. He has everything. So why am I bringing up Gaius? Well, basically, you guys have probably noticed me and several other YouTubers that are free to play, Kovian, Aeon, just about any other YouTubers, right? It's always been like, is this unit Gaius level? And that's just how broken he is. It's like everything is compared to Gaius, and he's released 3 months into the game. And we're already at 1 year mark, and everything is still compared to Gaius. Diora was compared to Gaius. Friggin' Yuhime compared to Gaius. She's pretty shit, not gonna lie, except for her speed lead. Just about everything is compared to Gaius. When he was released, I didn't manage to pull him because they changed the summoning system to SSM, and then everyone got rightfully upset. Then they made it so that you can pull him within 450 summons. I didn't have 450 summons. I think I had like 300 something. I didn't manage to go full pity. I didn't have him. The game wasn't unplayable. But it was so boring. It's like they released this unit, and then you as a player, you couldn't get him, right? And then the game is just so boring. You can't use that unit. Everyone else is using that unit, that OP unit that, that you can clear content without Gaius. I'm not saying that you can't clear content without Gaius. You can, but it's just so boring. The game became so stale without Gaius. When Sentinel Hunt came around, I still didn't have Gaius, and Sentinel Hunt was a pretty fun PVE endgame activity that you can do. And without Gaius, I just didn't even bother to do that event or that game mode because it was so hard to compete, and there was no reason to compete if you didn't have a Gaius. It was that detrimental. And it was just so boring. There was no PVE endgame except for Sentinel Hunt. And as soon as I got a Gaius, that's when I got into Sentinel Hunt, and that's when the game mode became fun for me because I was able to compete. Now, I'm not saying you need to compete in order to have fun. You can have fun in your own ways, you know. If you're a casual player, you don't need to care about ranking or anything. You can just play the game at your own pace, not caring about anyone else. And if that's fun for you, then all power to you. But that's not for me. I started off the game as a casual. I promised myself that I wouldn't go too try hard into this game because I've done that into so many games, and it's just caused major burnout. Like for example, Seven Deadly Sins, the game Seven Deadly Sins. If you've ever heard of that game, I got burnt out of that game because I grinded the shit out of that game. I was free to play top 100 free to play, and that shit burned me out like crazy. I stopped playing 1 year after the game, and then now I'm starting the game as a casual. I'm not having as much fun as I was tryharding during that game, but I'm still playing the game because it's relatively fun for me, you know, having to play new units when they come out on that game. And the difference between Seven Deadly Sins and DISLYTE is that on celebrations they will release like OP units that any free-to-play can get. As long as you grind the events, do your dailies, you can easily get that unit. Then you're gonna ask, if everyone has that unit, wouldn't that be like stale as well? Everyone that has that unit, everyone uses that unit. Not really, because you can use that unit in PvE. Everyone has that unit, everyone can use that unit in PvP. And then for whales, they can get that unit, dupes of that unit. Getting dupes of a unit also helps because it improves their ultimate ability. So whales can still whale, and a free-to-play can get the privilege of using an OP unit at their, base, because you're summoning one copy of that unit, and then you still get their OP kit, but not their OP ultimate. If that makes any sense. Back to DISLYTE. If I can remember what I was trying to say, let's just go back to Sentinel Hunt, right? Sentinel Hunt was super boring without Gaius, and then as soon as I got a Gaius, that's when I started to compete in Sentinel Hunt. And then they kind of killed Sentinel Hunt in update 2.3.2, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when going past EX++ is completely useless. That's why you don't see me do any videos on Sentinel Hunt anymore, because Sentinel Hunt right now, it's a blitz fest. I only do videos that I want to make. So like when I enjoyed Sentinel Hunt, you can see like I've done a multitude of videos regarding the old Sentinel Hunt because I like playing that game mode, and that's why I like making videos on it. But now you don't see me making a single video on this Sentinel Hunt after it has been reworked. So yeah, I've been rambling on for too long, but what's the reason? Everything is compared back to Gaius. He was extremely loaded, definitely not a unit that you want to be releasing upon 3 months into the game. Like, he was power creep that any other game has never seen before. He does like 12 or 15 different things, whereas the unit at the current time when Gaius was released either do like 3 or 4 things in their kit. Narmer, for example, he does one thing, and that is cleave, and that's it. That's all he does. Gaius does cleave, strip, AoE sear, AoE buff block, single target debuff extensions, single target stun, shield, self shield, 100% crit, you name it, right? Everything, he does everything. And then I think it's going to be the same with Sean Ping. Unfortunately, everything is going to be extremely stale. It's not going to be unplayable. I'm not going to say the game is unplayable in PvE. It's everything in the game is doable with 3 stars and 4 stars at this point for PvE. But having fun without a Jean Ping is going to be Well, for me, it's going to be like very difficult. I'm not gonna have fun without jumping in this light from now on. If I didn't pull her, but if I did pull her, you're damn well I'm gonna have fun with in the game, right? But the thing is, she's a Shimmer, so she's harder to get than Gaius when he was released. So you either get lucky or you wail for her and then you have fun in the game, or you get unlucky and you just don't have fun in the game. Like that's the state of DISLYTE right now. In PVE, you either have her or you don't. You might still be able to get the same ranking as you were before, but then again, you're gonna have to avoid so many defenses from now on. Defenses with a cleave team with her, Ethan, you're not gonna beat that team unless you have a Cecilia. Like that's the thing, right? To counter a 5-star Shimmer at this point, you need another 5-star Shimmer. Like that is just so pay to win and luck based at this point. It's just so boring. If you live under a rock, Ping, I mean, she does whatever you want her to do. She does 100% damage amplification. Never seen before in this game. 100%, by the way. Seer is 25%. 25%. And she does 100% damage amplification. And the condition isn't even that rough. It's only you need to either be type advantage or type neutral. That's it. If you're type disadvantage, you're not gonna get that buff. But that's the only thing. That's the only condition. If you are running her with another Shimmer nuker, for example Li, he can get that buff on any unit because he's not gonna get type disadvantage or anything. So he's gonna be using that buff fully. So yeah, Ping is broken, and if I don't pull her, I'm not gonna have fun in the game. She power creeps like Ping and Nusi power creeps the game way too much. It's really boring if you don't have them. If you do have them, the game is really fun, but that's the thing, they're Shimmer 5-star. You need to get lucky or you wail for them. And to have fun with either getting lucky or wailing, it's kind of unfortunate. And this might be a hot take, but I think some people can agree with me. I think M brought it up multiple times as well. Power creep should be in any game, any gacha game, because power creep keeps the game alive. If everything is balanced, then everything is boring. Like that's just it. Like if everything is balanced, right, the game is just stale. Like you don't see any improvements in your units. Like everything is balanced. You're not gonna have any favorites on your espers or something like that. I don't know, but power creep should be a thing, and it has been for any gacha games, but not to this point. This is way too much of a power creep. Gaius was way too much of a power creep. 3 months into the game, releasing a unit such as OP as Gaius is too much power creep. And the same thing can be said with Ping. Releasing this OP of a unit 1 year into the game is just not it. They could have released Gaius as the 1 year anniversary unit and he still would be a must summon. Like that's how good Gaius is. He still hasn't been power crap after 3 months, after 9 months into the game. He's still one of the best units in the game. Ping is like that as well. She's overpowered as hell. She does everything that you want her to. Defense break, fucking double your damage, whatever, attack buff. Everything's loaded into your kit. And everything else is going to be still. When you pull a 5-star Shimmer, currently, if it's not a Nusi or a Ping, you're not going to be like ecstatic, right? Like for example, we've come to a point where Unas, he is a good unit, but he's skippable. Like that's how crazy it is. A 5-star Shimmer, Unas, used to be really good, but now he's skippable because of this type of power creep that we have onto other Shimmer 5-stars. Shimmer 5-stars used to cover a niche role. Let's go through one by one, okay? Cecilia, She was and still is one of the best counters to speed cleave. Previously, she was the best cleave counter unit in the game because she revives everyone, and she still is. She's still one of the best cleave counter in the game. But that's all. But that's all that she does, cleave counter. Okay, and then we go to Unas. He is still one of the best AP pusher in the game. He has the most speed, except for no, he has the most speed because of Ascension, and then he has the highest AP push in the game, with the lowest cooldown at 3 turns and 30% AP push, and that's it. That's all he does. He AP pushes, and he's the best at it, and that's it. And then we go to JJ. He was one of the best offense unit, not defense. In defense, is so easy to counter. On offense, he's one of the best because the AI of the enemy is not smart. It will always go for him. So he is one of the best offense unit, but that's about it. He's only used in PvP. In PvE, he is completely and utter garbage. And then we go to Tever. Tever, this might be a controversial opinion, but he is actually one of the best unit. One of the best unit, okay? At doing absolutely nothing. And then we go to Raven. Raven is still, to this date, previously she was used in a cleave comp as the defense break. Now she's still used as a cleave comp in for defense break and strip, because she has that niche. She strips and apply defense break at the same time. So that's why she's good. And she's niche. She's not used in every single team. But then we go into Nusi. Nusi is a buff stripper, the best buff stripper, mind you, at 4 hits. But not only that, she is also the best cooldown increase unit in the game. 2 hits of unconditional CD up AoE, and she's a Shimmer, so she won't miss. And then not only that, she cycles her turn so fast that your team cannot do anything against her, because she has a 4-turn cooldown on her S3, and she cycles it way too fast. She gets that Brisingament or whatever the fuck that buff is called. Whenever she gets hit, she gains 20% AP, and she gains 4 of those stacks. 4 or 5. I think it's 4. 4 of those stacks, so that's kind of like a free 80% AP. Kind of like reducing her cooldown to 3 turns. And then whenever each buff that she strips, she gains 5%, I think. So if the enemy has 4 buffs, she instantly gets a turn. That reduces her cooldown to 1 more turn. So now it's a 2 turn. And then she also AP pushes on her S2. But not only that, she also cooldown resets on one of your allies. But not only that, she also gives speed up. Like, what are we looking at? Is that a niche character for a Shimmer 5-star? We went from units, Shimmer 5-star units being the best at one aspect to now being the best at, what is it? Cooldown reset, buff strip, cooldown pushback, AP push, self AP push, AP pushback on the enemies, because their S1 does that, by the way. Some of you probably didn't know. She is like the best PvP unit in the game right now. Barring maybe Jumping, but we don't know yet because Jumping hasn't been released. And she is one of the best units in Infinity Tower, which is like the end game of PvE right now. Yeah, she's so good in PvE, and she's one of the best. No, she is the best in PvP. That's just how broken Shimmer 5-star is right now. And then we go to Jumping, right? Jumping is going to be the best support for PvE, and then the best support for PvP. She does what the horse buff is just going to give you 2 of your DPS double damage. But not only that, she has defense break. Not only that, she has attack up. Not only that, she has whatever. What does she have? Misery up. Yeah, she also does the damage. she also does damage on her S3 because she does 200% multiplier. And then PvE, you're gonna see like the towers or the shadow bosses is gonna go up like crazy. The score is probably gonna go up by 30, 20, 50% of the highest that we have right now. Ritual Miracle, maybe not so much, but that's because she requires a little bit more setup than our current fast team. Current fast team is just like using most DPS in the team with no supports anyway, so she might not influence Ritual Miracle as much, but in PvP, she's just going to wreck every single team. If you're using a cleave team, you can cleave through any team at this point. If you have R6 Sally, she's going to be mitigated by a Jean Ping, because cleave team will just cleave through R6 Sally teams from now on. She's going to be the counter for Nusi, because right now Nusi in R6 Sally teams pretty much has no counter on auto because of how tanky that team is. You cannot cleave through an R6 Sally team on auto. On manual, you might be able to do it, but on auto, it's not reliable at all. With the addition of General Xi Jinping, she can cleave through that R6 Sally team like it's nothing. So you're using a 5-star Shimmer to counter another 5-star Shimmer. That's the state that DISLYTE is in right now. And if you don't pull her, the game is not going to be unplayable. Like PvE, you can still do PvE. Nothing is going to change that, but being competitive, that's going to suck. Like you're not going to have fun playing knockout when you see the enemies just completely cleaving through your R6 teams, or when you see them running speed cleaves in their defense and you don't have a Cecilia to counter that. You're just gonna get slapped around in PvE competitive and PvP competitive scene. It's just you're not gonna have fun if you don't pull for Jean Ping. And yeah, that's basically what this video is going to be about, and how I'm feeling about the game. If I have like 15 records to summon for her. Hopefully I get her. If I do get her, you're damn well I'm gonna have fun with the game. But if I don't get her, the game is just gonna be really stale for me. I'm not gonna quit a game. That's probably not gonna happen. But the thing is, with me, I can just quit the game on a whim. If I decided, you know what, this game is not worth to play, I can just quit the game. That's what I've done from all the games that I've done so far. 7 Deadly Sins, I just quit the game on a whim because I just said like, oh man, this game is so tiring, I'm just gonna quit it. And I just decided right there and then, I just quit the game. I didn't touch the game for, I think, a full year. And then now I started playing the game once again. Okay, so the TLDW of this video is just that Gaius and Jean Ping is released way too early, and the game is gonna be stale from now on, because we're just gonna be waiting like, when is the next Gaius going to release, or when is the next Jean Ping going to be released? Yeah, the game is just going to perpetuate on whether this unit is Gaius or not, or this unit is Jean Ping or not. Every game should have power creep, but not to this point. Power creep does save a game. It makes the game fun and not boring, stale. Everything is the same, everything is balanced. That's boring as fuck. But power creep helps the game add new light to it, because, you know, higher number is actually fun to see, believe it or not. But this kind of numbers, it's kind of hard to top it off. So yeah, this kind of power creep, not great for the game. That's it. Ciao.